morning to you, Kenyan citizens. Welcome. This is the Current Affairs segment. It is a trusted source for the latest news, insightful discussions, and impactful stories shaping our nation and beyond. I'm Angela Kabete, and as you can see, today I've got a lot. I'm here with Kimotho. So what we'll do, we'll dive into the latest headlines and uncover the truth behind the news, because this is where we make sure that you stay updated of what is happening, that is in our country and beyond. So stay tuned as we break it down right here, right now. But a very good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
You're doing well? Salimia to the land.
Let us dive together in what has been happening.
Yeah, because a lot has been happening, right?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, but as it is always our norm, let's not forget that is the verse of the day.
Yes. To
encourage them, to keep them moving.
Yeah.
And we're heading over to the verse of the day. Verse that is in Isaiah 55:10-11. And I read, this is what it says. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven, and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seed for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out of my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. Oh my goodness, what an amazing verse, Mr. Kimotho. No, inatuambia that as the rain and the snow comes down from the heaven, it did not return to it without it did not return without watering the seeds, Mr. Kimotho. You know, this is telling us this applies to our daily basis. You know, that the word of God is powerful and effective. You know, just as the rain causes the seeds to grow, you know, to germinate. That is how the word of God applies in our daily lives. Yes. It has a divine purpose in each and everybody's life. The word of God has a purpose. You know, and it kuna kwan at the end of it, there is something that is going to germinate. There is productivity. Yeah, you have something to add on that?
It summarizes to the other verses up to kwa ile season ya Mungu. And ukiangalia pale inasema that is as the rain and the snow comes down. So ukiangalia pia pale ndani inasema that is and do not return to eat without watering the earth and making it and flourishing, so that it yields seeds for the sower and bread for the eater. So ukiangalia the season has been designed by God. So it is upon us now to be in that season, because in that season there is a blessing ambayo iko pale for you to be able now to flourish na kukuwa ile yields, mazao ni mengi ambayo yako pale. So the biggest thing is just to pray so that you may be in the right season and doing the right thing, so that you may not miss out, because if you miss out now, it is not God, now it is you. Especially missing out the season of birthing. Yes.
Hakuna kitu mbaya kama hiyo.
Yes, exactly.
So this tells us that the word of God leads to fruitfulness. You know, it leads, that is, to growth, change, transformation, revival, renewal, flourishment. That is what the word of God does. Alafu nivo venye inasema that just like in a road, it doesn't go back without watering. It shows that God's faithfulness in our lives as individuals. God is very, very faithful. If God has promised you that in this season I will walk with you, I'll do this and that and that. It's for you to be patient. But then I think we miss out because what tunachoka, Mr. Kimotho. You get tired of waiting for God, and that's when we miss the season. So this tells us that God is very, very faithful, especially when it comes to his promises. So umemgoja Bwana for that season. Usichoke. Continue waiting for that season. Continue waiting for God, because he is very, very, very faithful. Yeah, and that is the verse of the day. And now let's head over to what has been happening in Kimotho. Mambo ni mengi sana.
Ni mengi na hata yakiwa mengi ni lazima tuyajulishe kwa watazamaji wetu. Today you know niko na standard
I also have my daily nation with me.
Yes.
And on my daily nation I can see Mr. Kimotho wameandika that weep not world. Weep not. So who is weeping? Let's figure out, Mr. Kimotho. I can see here on page 2 of my Daily Nation, I can see they have elated world mourns as Ngugi turns into a grain of wheat.
Yeah.
You ni msemo gani imetumika hapo, Mr. Kimotho? Yeah, some Kenyans say literally Titan was not properly honored in Kenya. Nothing that there are no statues of his or prizes of his name. You know, that is Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He was born in 1938. Sasa mpaka sasa amefika sasa, that is 2025.
Yes.
And they're saying that icon born in colonial Kenya, 87 years ago, Ngugi wa Thiong'o had a culture of freedom, struggle inculcated in his youth, forging him into a rebel without a cause, and a scholar determined to push the boundaries of social activism. One of Africa's most prolific post-colonial writers, he bestrode the literally a globe like a colossus, stirring intellectual debate, upsetting repressive order, and placing African literature at the center of the world. And that story is in page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 10. Since he has achieved a lot. Hizo pages zote Mr. Kimotho.
Hawezi kuwa kwa hizo pages zote kama hakuna impact umeleta.
I'm wondering if hizi ndio pages. What about his CV? Akienda kuchukua kazi CV yake ilikuwa inakaaje?
Itakuwa booklet.
Yeah, I know. You have the same story on your daily on your standard?
Yeah, because pia kwa standard that is a front page. Unaona hapo that is Ngugi wa Thiong'o kwa hapo. Page 2, 3, 4 hivyo tu pia na vile pia umeelezea. Pia ninaona pia huko na page 8 and page 9 na ukiangalia kiangazio hivyo sana kwa sababu amekuwa na impact all along. That is because he's a renowned, that is a activist, renowned author. Ameandika vitabu mingi sana.
Yeah, that is true, because I can see a member they're calling him the literature giant. His works, written from the early 1960s, have been translated into more than 100 languages and studied in schools and university. 100 languages, Mr. Kimotho.
Yes. Na unajua hata akiwa na hizo language zote ile kitu ambayo sana sana tunakumbuka alikuwa na emphasize sana that is ni the mother language. Na ukiangalia hata majina yake, ukiangalia hata majina ya watoto yake, so yeye alisema lazima retain that origin. Hata wakati alikuwa kule that is a United States, kwa sababu alikaa kule kwa muda sababu ya masuala ya kisiasa here and there, bado aliweza ku retain hiyo. So hata hizo language zote zikiwa pale aliweza ku retain that is the motherhood ambayo ilikuwa pale na the Africanism ambayo alikuwa nayo. Yes.
And I can see at a glance, this is what they have elated. A return to Kenya after exile. They're giving Society is what he has been doing and what happened. That is in 2004, after 22 years in exile, Professor Ngugi returned to Kenya alongside his wife Njeri. A photo of them kissing the ground captured at the poignancy of the moment. And they said sadly 2 weeks they were attacked at that is Norfolk apartments. A few days later, his wife was sexually assaulted, that is in 2019, and Professor Ngugi made another trip to Kenya. That is in February that year. He launched a book called Kenda Moyoro. Mr. Kimotho, have I pronounced it well? Have I?
Umejaribu.
Nimejaribu. Can you pronounce the book?
Umejaribu.
And into bracket, it has been into bracket, that is in English, is called Perfect 9.
Yes.
In Nairobi, that is in Nairobi. In June 2019, he also attended the launch of the book called, that is Ngugi, Reflections of His Life of Writing, edited by Professor Simon Gikandi and Professor Kimani Wachanga. Wachanga. Yeah, that is what they have highlighted at a glance. What do you have there?
Okay, so also in page we can see also in page 2 and page 3 they have some, that is a memorable pictures ambazo ziko hapo, akiona the former president, wakiwa hapa pia na the former prime minister na wale wageni wengine pia kule internationally. Na pia ninaona hapa kuna picha ambayo that is imeandikwa Ngugi wa Thiong'o signed copies of his book Weep Not Child at Nairobi Bookshop in July 1964. So unaona ni mtu ambaye akona experience, alianza kuandika vitabu sana. And as all this that is happening, there is a polytechnic ambayo inaitwa Kamirithu Polytechnic iko kule Limuru, kwa sababu pia unajua Ngugi wa Thiong'o pia alizaliwa that is Limuru, that is in 1938. So and wakati alikuwa pale he was detained because wakati huo that is 1977 kuna kitabu ambayo aliandika ambayo imeandikwa hapa I will marry when I want.
Jamani, I will marry when I want.
Yes.
Have you read that book? Our viewers, it sounds interesting.
Na ni kitabu ambayo ilileta that is msukumo sana because unajua now hiyo time bado tulikuwa na ile the colonial system and even the mindset and everything. So wakati anasema anaandika kitabu kama hichi ilifanya afungwe kwa sababu sasa ilionekana inaleta bad influence because at that time ndio that is now the regime ambayo ilikuwa pale ilikuwa ina insist na mambo na population. So wakati huo nakuja kuandika kitabu I will marry when I want na hapa
nataka increase population,
sasa ikabidi akuwe detained. So ukiangalia so na mahali alikuwa detained ni mahali ambapo hii polytechnic iko.
Yeah, because I can see Mr. Kimotho, concerning that book that you have said, they're saying Ngugi was taken into detention shortly after the state stopped staging imeandikwa in Kikuyu, Mr. Kimotho tutapronounce na wewe, Ngahika, oh my goodness, Ngahika Deda.
Umejaribu. Ngahika Deda.
Yeah, a play at Kamirithu Community Theatre.
Yes.
Yeah.
So unaona pia polytechnic wako na that memorable, that is hiyo mambo kwa sababu that is the detention was done there. And ameandika vitabu mingi sana. Kuna hiyo ambayo tumesema hapo Weep Not, that iko na Coma Child. Pia kuna A Grain of Wheat. Ukiangalia pale kuna The River Between, na pia hizi zake zilikuwa pia zinapublishiwa kule US. Hiyo wakati that is 1972 vitabu zake zilikuwa zinapublishiwa kule. Pia kuna kitabu kingine pia hapo pia kimeangaziwa, that is Petals of Blood. So pia kuna hiyo ambayo pia kuna nyingine ambayo pia alikuwa imeandikwa Devil on the Cross. So ukiangalia and then pia kuna nyingine decolonizing the mind. Hiyo pia aliweza kuandika. So ukiangalia now he's renowned now kwa hiyo mambo ya the author. Na that is na pia nikiangalia hapa pia on page 5 wameweza kuangazia kwamba Ngugi wa Thiong'o wielded his pen like a spear. His works were not just literature, they were liberation manifestos. So ukiangalia even by the title themselves, ukiangalia it was not just a story, it was something ambayo ukiangalia hata the title itself unaona inaleta impact fulani. Na that's why unaona hiyo wakati alijipata mashakani because at that time kwa zile regime ambayo tulikuwa nazo hatuko tumefika pale. So na unajua sasa kulikuwa na challenge sana wakati kama hawa walikuwa wanaonekana ndio wanajua sana. So kulikuwa na ile mambo ya ile colonization of the mind upon ourselves. Yes, tumepewa independent but sasa sisi tunajipata tuko limited because kama huyu you can imagine at that time stories zake zinapublishwa kwa UK Times. Na bado sikio kulikuwa na hiyo effect ya Africans cannot be able to do this, it is only us and stuff. So ukiangalia sasa unaona ni mtu ambaye pia alikuwa na ushawishi mkubwa sana that is kule kwa mataifa za nje pia.
I can see here that is Professor Peter Nazareth. This is what he has said. Ngugi was a visionary, a political thinker, a person who keeps growing, who is persistent. It's not easy to be a novelist. That is what he has said. And then that is on page 7 of my Daily Nation. I can see they have highlighted that is life in times of a great author. Hapa kuna picha yake wakiwa that is the former president Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wakiwa pamoja at State House, na naona ameshika kitabu yake moja imeandikwa Weep Not Child. Then I can see here that that is kuna picha yake pia Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o during the conferment of his honorary degree by KCA University as his wife Njeri looks on. Then bado kuna picha yake hapa wakiwa yeye na Professor John Okumu, Dr. Gideon Zau, Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o and Kitui musician Msioka wa Maiu during the opening of the International Mother Language Day Conference at Kenyatta University, that is in Kitui campus. Then pia kuna picha yake that is with the former Prime Minister, opposition leader, that is Raila Odinga, present his biography to Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, that is in 2015. I can see it's very big. Imeandikwa kitabu imeandikwa Raila Odinga. It's very big. And then kuna picha ingine hapa yake Ngugi wa Thiong'o shares a light moment with the publisher Abel Moreithi at Kirinyaga University. And then kuna picha yake hapa wameandika the then finance and economic planning minister and later President Moi Kibaki during the launch of Ngugi wa Thiong'o book. The author is second from the left. That is what they have said. Then kuna picha yake hapa Ngugi wa Thiong'o during an interview with The Nation on June 2nd, 2015. And then the last but not least, Ngugi wa Thiong'o and his wife Njeri during the launch of his autobiography, it's called Dreams in a Time of War, a childhood memo on August 19th, 2010 at the National Museums of Kenya. He has achieved a lot with Kimotho.
Yeah, indeed he has. Because ukiona akiwa na all those recommendable statements from all those leaders, kuna ile impact ambayo ameweka. Na pia naona kuna other activists kama that is kama Boniface Mwangi anasema activist Mwangi said Ngugi empowered his readers with a language to resist a tyranny. And also now there pia nini kuna statement hapa he was the most deserving of a Nobel Prize in literature for over 40 years, but he was he was denied. So pure racism is the reason he died without one. As he now rests, I am glad that his work will endure and transcend him forever. So that is according now to one of the activists. Na pia nikiangalia hapa ninaona that is also our president pia alitoa his statement na akasema he was a very courageous and having made an indelible impact on how we think and our independence. Pia naona that is a Wiper leader pia hapa amepeana recommendations zake, na pia naona pia that is a former Chief Justice David Maraga pia na yeye the same time. So ukiangalia hapa ni statement ambazo zimetolewa na leaders.
The leaders. Yes. Even you can see here that is the DCP Mr. Kimotho hakuacha nyuma.
Okay. Hata yeye alikuwa pale.
Yeah, he can't be left behind. Unajua yeye anasikiliza ground Mr. Kimotho. You know, he said that if literally a genius ever lived who has inspired my world of literally language and communication, may it be the use of symbolism, figurative language, metaphors, metonymy, poetry, that a genius is Professor Ngugi. Na tumekuwa tukiona kwa social media pia the DCP is also a poet.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, you're forgetting about that. Kwenye juu unaangalia mtandaoni watapata. He's also a poet, that's why anataja hizo mambo zote za figurative language, metaphors. It's because he's a poet, so he understands, you know. We also saw that is the deputy president Pia alisema one of Kenya's finest public intellectuals, Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o, that admired Babini across the globe, and even those who disagreed with his views respected him. The world academia is left very much poorer without his without this great son of Kenya. Also the ODM that leader, that is Raila Odinga, alisema a giant African has fallen. Rest in eternal peace, author Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Yes, that is what they said.
So we can see pia hapa kuna so many other stories ambazo ziko hapa, na that is unajua sasa kulingana na the impact that he has brought. That's unaona kwa gazeti imemwangazia sana in so many stories.
Okay, and that is we can say he rest in peace Mr. Kimotho.
Yeah.
Na watu wajasoma vitabu zake waende wasome.
Na waende wasome,
yeah.
But pia inatuonesha it is high time that we should also start appreciating our own.
Yeah, that's true.
Because ukiangalia kuna impact worldwide, zile vitabu ametoa, the way that they have bring impact. In fact, you know, sasa kama hii ambayo ni I think ni kwa wapi, kuna nyingine nimeona ilikuwa hapa, I think ni River Between ama ni gani. Tulikuwa tumeona kuna wakati ilikuwa kwa the set book ambazo zilikuwa pale. So it is high time that we should appreciate. Na pia you know we be proud of ourselves, because he was proud of himself, of his language, of where he came from. Hakuenda kule majua akachange jina, akafanya nini. Pia watoto wake mwalea
his identity as a Kenyan citizen
completely, hata watoto wake pia the identity that iliweza ku remain hata wakio pale. Na hata ukienda pia uangalie kwa gazeti uone hata pia kwa majina zao utaona bado tu wako na zile tu, that is the title to the African names pale. So it is high time that Ali set a very good pace, and we are really proud of that. Pia tunafariji pia the family as we also celebrate now his work. Pia tunafariji the family for the loss, and we also hoping that even the state is going out to give him a state burial.
Yeah. And even in the world of literature, can you say the young people should emulate what he did in the world of literature?
Yeah, exactly. Na pia unajua pia ina encourage wale ambao wako in that field ya literature, wale wanaandika articles, na hayo mambo mengine yote. So pia ina encourage vizuri zaidi, and also it is also high time that something needs to be done. Ndio wakati tuko na hii talent ambao wanafanya hii inashughulikiwa mapema, because ukiangalia hapa pia kuna some of the activists wanasema for ile kazi yote amefanya hata ka prize ka recognition kidogo haijakuweko pale. So it means that it is high time we need to recognize the talents that we have.
The talents including some of the dramas. I don't want to mention like Echoes of War. Hiyo ni talent Mr. Kimotho.
Hata hiyo ni talent. Na pia huyo ni script writer ambao pia ako in the field of literature bado. So unaona sasa hiyo yote tukiweza kuzisupport itakuwa iko sawa.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yes.
Condolences to the family and the state as well.
Yes.
And away from that, Mr. Kimotho, on my daily nation, that is page 16, I can see here we have never had this statement Mr. Kimotho from the president. Finally amesema or ni mimi sijawahi sikia utaniambia, alisema that I'll beat you hands down in 2027 polls. That is all the president, that is William Ruto, tells the opposition. And the President Ruto has exuded confidence in securing a re-election in the 2027 polls, saying that his performance in office place him far ahead from his competitors. The head of state declared that he will defeat his opponents early in the election cycle. And this is what he said: they lack proper agenda and are not visionaries. Their mission is to sow discord, spread hatred, and call me names like Kasongo. Did the opposition call him Kasongo?
And he accepted the name.
He accepted the name.
Yes.
And call me names like Kasongo and so forth. But we will show them. Let them try. I want to ask you, when you look at those tribalists, can they beat us? This is what the president asked you. Wewe mpendwa mtazamaji, can they beat, you know, the president? And he continues and says that we'll float them early in the morning. That is what the President Ruto said. And among those eyeing the presidency are former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, Democratic Action Party DAP leader that is Eugene Wamalwa, a People Liberation Party Martha Karua, and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i. And now plus our president Sasa Kimotho. Those who will be vying for that in the presidency, they say both Mr. Gachagua and Matiang'i have publicly declared the intentions to run, that is to run. Mr. Gachagua even launching a new political outfit, Democracy for Citizen Party. In Swahili, kwa ambao hawajajua inasema sikiliza ground.
Yes.
You know, and they are calling for support, but the president remains defiant without naming names. He accused the group of stalking tribal divisions and engaging a political athletics while administration focuses on national development. Alafu tena hii picha yenye naona hapa ni kama actually picha yenye naangalia hapa Mr. Kimotho wako yeye na the former prime minister wamevalia zile vitu za mjengo, zile za vitu zinaitwa helmet, hizo ndio wamevalia. And then I can see the president made the remarks in Homa Bay where he commissioned the construction of 700 million Gor Mahia ring road in Dihiwa. Yesterday he visited part of the broader development tour in his region and was met with enthusiastic chants. Lieutenant wanasema 10 bila break, 10 years in office uninterrupted, as he rallied the crowd with his slogan kazi bila break, a call for relentless service. And now I'm wondering, Mr. Kimotho, so because wakona the former prime minister, is it because of the broad-based government? Because I think even the former prime minister atakuwa in 2027, you know, vying for presidency. What will happen, Mr. Kimotho? You know,
najua it's very interesting because wakati tuko tuna that is after election that is now they had their recommendable statement. I remember president akisema hakuna haja ya kushinda you know tukiungana na watu wengine and so forth, na yale mambo ambayo waliongea. But sasa ndio hao ambao wako pale,
ndio hapa pamoja
kwa broad based government.
Yes.
And ni kama sasa hiyo broad based government imempatia nguvu, joto na motisha zaidi,
empowerment, Mr. Kimotho, because they were in Homa Bay, ngome ya baba.
He's encouraging himself. You know, amefurahia sana jana wakati walikuwa kule, na hata statement yake vile ambavyo anasema pale, you know akona assurance ya Queen 2027.
And they are smiling kwanza.
Na pia former prime minister akapeana a piece of land iweze kujengewa, that is nyumba za housing kule. So it was a very good moment. That's why now the president was very confident akiongea pale, na alikuwa anasema our opponent are currently in a political mode, but I have told them to allow me and ODM that is a leader Raila Odinga to work for the people.
To work for the people. Interesting. Could you say that the broad-based government is no longer Nusumkati, it's working for the citizens?
These people do not have an agenda. They all they can do is call me names. He said, kama vile ambavyo umesoma pale. So nazidi kusema it is you people who ask us to unite this country. You told us to unite and build this government to stop the divisive politics and ensure that every part of this country benefits. Yes,
that is what he's saying, right?
Yes. You people, you told us.
Kwa hivyo ni watu waliwaambia wakafuata maoni ya watu. Pia wanasikiliza ground, Mr. Kimotho.
They have to. Kwa sababu ukiangalia hii statement, it is you people. So unajua ukisema it is you people, ni nyinyi mliniambia.
Nyinyi wananchi.
So inamaanisha sasa hiyo ni kama tu kuja tu kwa ground na kuemphasize. Yes.
And I can see at the same day all infrastructure project underway were completed. So he's doing a good job. Let's compliment him. Kizuri kitukuzo Mr. Kimotho.
Definitely.
Completed. Yes. No region will be left behind. Our development agenda, that is what he pledged. He was accompanied by the Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Bahati and Energy Cabinet Secretary Opio Wandai. Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga lauded the president a frequent visit, describing him as genuine ally of the region. Okay. And this is what she said. You visited Homa Bay 8 times in 2 years, more than any of your predecessors.
Yes.
She noted, you have shown truly care. Wow, that's interesting. And the CS Mbadi urged residents to back President William Ruto beyond 2027. And so today the president is expected to commission modern fish market and affordable housing projects in Homa Bay town and to inspect the town's pier. Yes, that is what I'll do.
So it was very interesting because unajua sasa hizi unajua it's ukiangalia hizi statement Rudy ndo zisikie vile zilikuwa zinatolewa na Kiswahili, you find it very very tofauti kabisa.
Ni watch news za jana jioni za Swahili Mr. Kimotho.
Will these people really manage us? I am telling them to stop politicking with the affordable housing program and find something else. I am telling them to, in broad daylight, that this program is employing young people and improving the economy of this country, he said. That is the president. Then he also said that Raila said, okay, now the former prime minister said he would donate 5 acres of land for the construction of affordable housing units.
He will donate?
He will.
That
so
is
he has
care.
not.
Can you say no? Even when you remember they're caring,
yeah,
it's true.
He will. He has not, but he will. He will donate 5.
He will.
Yeah, he will. He has not, but he will. When that is, we said we do not want our people to wait for development any further. We want to improve their lives. We cannot say we are waiting for another government. We are saying this current government must be allowed to work for our people. It is against this backdrop that we signed the MOU with UDA. This union will ensure no part of this country is left behind with development, he said.
So, and talking of, that's why I say kazi bila break.
Yeah.
And talking of the
KBB.
Oh, KBB.
Yes.
Nakwambia siku hizi majina msaki. Yeye ni umepatia KBB.
Ninaiona pale wakisema KBB kwale kwa mtandao.
Okay.
Yeah, short form ya hiyo statement ya Kiswahili. Yes.
And not talking about you have mentioned the housing projects. Kulikuwa na nyumba zilikuwa launchiwa, that is Nakuru.
Yeah, Nakuru slums.
Ni watu wangapi wameingia hayo majumba msaki?
I don't have the figure, but they are more than I think they are more than 20-50 hapo in that yeah, ni wengi.
Wanaotutazama probably you're watching us na uko kwa hiyo nyumba, what is the experience? How are you feeling being in that house? Is it the house, is it good? Watuambie maoni yao ni yapi Mr. Kimotho?
Unajua the same time unajua we cannot hide and say hizo nyumba haziko. Already ziko.
Yeah, it's true.
Zishakamilishwa na kuna watu washaingia.
Yeah, and even Mr. President akisema that it's helping in employment of the young people. For the young people, how do you feel about that being part of employment, especially for the kwa mambo ya mjengo? Are you feeling about that? I'm going to watch and you're a beneficiary. You have got employment from that. Tell us, moni yako ni yapi? Do you think it's enough for the young people?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good thing, Mr. Kimotho. Let's hear our president, he's doing a good job.
Yeah. Na ni vizuri kufanya that is a recommend kwa sababu ni kitu ambayo inaonekana. So at the same time wale watu tu ndio atarudi kwa ndio wataamua. Hao ndio wako na ile scorecard. Yes.
But actually everything lies on the hands of the citizens, Coming 2027.
In our constitution you know, power is imparted to the citizen. Yes.
And talking of power being to the citizen, IBC inakuanga evolved, Mr. Kimotho,
yes.
Right? On page 10 of my Daily Nation, they can see a court allows the case petitioners argue that 4 of the 7 nominees were not eligible for selection of the nomination. Yes. And court allows MPs to vet IEBC nominees but stopped swearing in.
Yes.
You know, we don't know if sasa if they do this, Mr. Kimotho, uko sure watangalia political interest.
Unajua nao sababu pia naona the same thing imeangazia hapa in standard page 14 walikuwa proceed na kukuwa appointed but pia now the issue ikakuwa raised pale because kuna wale petitioners kuna lawyer anaitwa Paul Moite and Ochieng Odinga. The two contended that the nomination process was marred by irregularities and violated key constitution provisions, including those are guaranteed merit based on appointments, regional and ethnic balance, and inclusion of persons with disability. They also raise another issue over the 5th commissioner, that is Hassan NURU, who was not shortlisted in the initial process. He was not in the advertisement list made by the selection panel. So that is the argument ambayo ilikuwa pale. So that's why now the court kwanza ilisema stop now the appointment because sasa ile selection committee ilikuwa ishamaliza kazi yake na waka forward the names now to the president and the president now naye akafanya selection ya hayo majina. So now wakakimbia kule kotini, so the court nayo ikasema ni sawa, stop those appointment but the vetting must iendelee tena. That is that process now should continue kwa sababu ndio inaendelea na pale kule parliament. So kuna so many other things ambazo pia waliweza ku raise, kama sasa walikuwa nasema that is the suit claims that Nderitu, who is the registrar of political parties, is a state officer, while that is a Sorobit is also said to have held a political party leadership position within the past 5 years. So they are therefore not eligible. So now ukiangalia pia now that is now the judgment now ya the judge alikuwa anasema that is while issuing the orders, the judge underlined the potential consequences of Kenya's electoral integrity if the matter was not fully heard. If the orders are not issued, the right that is to free and fair selection by independent electoral that is a committee could be put in jeopardy, therefore undermining the credibility of the selection. So also the judge also said that Justice Mugambi also observed that should the nominee be allowed to assume office before the full hearing, it will be difficult to reverse the process if found unconstitutional. So ukiangalia pia na yeye pia judge alikuwa anajaribu sasa kufanya that is interpretation kulingana na vile mswada umekuja pale na unaona sasa umeenda kule bungeni. So the parliament wako allowed sasa kuendelea kufanya vetting of the nominees before sasa waende that is wako appointed pale. So inamaanisha sasa now it will be now upon now our parliament kuweza kuemphasize na kuangalia haya maswala yote ambayo yameangaziwa hapa, that is the issue now to do with a person living with a disability na regional and ethnic that is a balance na pia considering that kuna civil servant ambao walipitishwa na selection committee na wengine wamekuwa in political office, na that is not allowed kwa sababu fai kuwa pale kama for the last that is 5 years.
Yeah, that's true because I can see the same as Kimotho. Justice Lawrence Mugambi said that there are also questions regarding the eligibility of some of the nominees and unajua mtu wa kwanza mwenye waliangazia Mr. Kimotho, that is Mr. Ethicon, Mr. Hassan, Miss Sorobit and Miss Nderitu. They are saying that they are not qualified to apply to be selected as IEBC commissioners due to perceived bias, violation of political neutrality, participation in the 2022 elections, political party membership, and failure to vacate state offices before nomination. Why didn't they vacate Mr. Kimotho? Ni walikuwa najua that is one of the things that's supposed to be considered because ilikuwa 50-50.
Now sapo I don't know. Unajua wakati chance imetolewa wewe una apply. Ukisha apply wewe unangojea. So hizo process zote vile zimekuwa zikipita, so unajua yule jina yake ambayo imepita haya mambo yote yeye huwezi, you know, kwa sababu si yeye alijipitisha pale. Because now committee ndio ilipita, iliweza kumpitisha na ikamfikisha pale. Yes.
And you know, Mr. Vikon alikuwa amechaguliwa kama chair Mr. Kimotho, but inaonekana that and actually Mr. Vikon was selected from a pool of 39 applicants for the IBC chairperson role, with 6 proposed commissioners were chosen. Among that is 1,345 applicants. Yeah, but now things are different.
So and I think it was very wise for the judge kurudisha hiyo mambo kule to the parliament, wafanye vetting. Ndio sasa any decision now it is going out to lies with the how the parliament is going to decide. Yes.
We have 2 minutes, Mr. Kimotho. As you went up, you have something?
MPs fault treasury on budget cuts, cost of living. Naona pia wabunge wanazungumzia pale, na pia tunaona hapa bado mambo treasury head teachers at odds over the release of capitation, bado wamerudia capitation. Nurses issue fresh strike, the rate over pay and staffing.
They should check out these things, especially I don't know why education and health ndio imekuwa affected sana when it comes to the world of finance.
Yes.
Unajua sipoiangalia sasa na budget inapitishwa that is June 1. What will happen? Unaona?
So we are really hoping that wataweza kuangalia. Yes.
Yeah, and we have 1 minute. What do you have to tell the viewers?
Just want to give them a special thanks kwa vile wamekuwa pamoja na sisi, wametusikiza, wabarikiwe sana, na pia kuwakumbusha that is tuko na Sonship Summit. Wamekaribishwa sana to all the church leaders, all the believers in Jesus Christ. You're welcome. Kuja tubarikiwe pamoja.
Yeah, and it will be happening. That is from the 23rd to the 27th this coming June 2025. It is a gathering that is seeking to restore the hearts of the sons and the fathers together. You are all welcome. The church leaders, ministers, nyinyi wote mmekaribishwa. For more information, please talk to us on 0727766553. I'm Angela Kabete. It was nice interacting and engaging with you together with Bwana Kimotho. Don't forget, this segment has been sponsored by Stack Institute and Driving School. The courses that they offer, that is ICT, hospitality courses, driving and driving courses. If you're interested, you can visit their branch in Nakuru County, but the main campus is in Joro Town on the Egerton Joro Road. You can reach out over their website, that is www.stackinstitute.ac.ke, and register online to get a 10% discount, or you can reach out via the email that is info@stackinstitute.ac.ke. Till next time, bye bye.